just moments ago. Debra Shaws gave the jury instructions on the law governing the case and what they can take into account in evaluating the former president's guilt or innocence. Former President Trump facing 34 felony counts of falsifying.
I can't hear you,
Punishable by up to 4
Christy.
years in prison. Before is outside the New York State Supreme Court with the latest on all of this being made.
Let's see if this works. Can you hear me now?
I hear you, Christy.
Hear me. There we go. Cindy said she was getting on, but last time she had a hard time finding the link. So I'm gonna try and email her the link.
It's working good just using that same link for us anyway.
Right? Yeah, I told her it was the same link, but technology is not always her friend.
I'm with her.
So,
When you're not working on it all the time, you get so far behind, it is just frustrating.
yeah. I figure if I send it to her email to Cindy Clyde.
Falsifying business records to influence the 2016 election through unlawful means. But Judge Debra Shaws instructed the jury, quote, "You need not be unanimous as to
Okay, well, I just emailed it to her.
You'll still be able to hear her, but
Can you still hear me?
yes.
Yes.
Oh, good.
You gotta lay down, take a nap, Craig.
Um,
I'll mute TV then.
Cindy.
I think I wore my hubby out today. He had occupational therapy and physical therapy today.
Oh, wow. I
And the
emailed the Zoom link.
Diane, it says farm wife. What type farm do you have?
We have well, until Craig got disabled, we ran cattle and then had wheat, soybeans, and corn, row crop, hay ground. But we rent it all out now. We still have all our farmland, but we rent it out to different farmers because it's in 3 areas.
That's what we do with my mother's place since my dad died.
Yeah, till it makes us our income. So that's what we always said the farm was for, is our income in our older age. Our older age just started a little earlier than we had planned.
Mine did too.
Oh, but
Okay, let's see if that works. How's everyone week going?
going good. We made it to Wednesday.
Right? We made it to Wednesday.
You're sounding better.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Yesterday was a little bit of a rougher day. And then you probably TMI, but if any of you have ever had surgery before, after you're on the medicines, your body doesn't quite get moving the way it was supposed to. And I had gone 6 days without any movement.
Any movement?
And I was getting very like bloated and painful and like just pain everywhere because I couldn't get any air out. Nothing was coming out the way it was supposed to. So I was in a lot of pain. And then I got a hold of my doctor and he had me take a bunch of Miralax and walk a whole bunch more. And finally movement happened and I am a whole new human. It's such a crazy, silly thing that you're like, but I was like telling my sister, I'm like, I feel like I'm a baby with colic.
Yeah.
Like where just everything hurts and I want to be burped and I want to fart and I want something to come out and I just feel terrible.
Yep. Been there many times.
Right? It's just weird. So yeah, so being on the other side of that, I'm like, yes, I am so much better. So that is good. Let me make sure because Cindy's really trying. So I'm gonna okay, be on in a minute. And Lisa's here. Hi, Lisa.
Hi there, but my picture's not coming through.
I know. Let me see if I invite you to turn on your camera if it works.
Okay. I had a picture and it was showing up and then all of a sudden it just disappeared.
Don't you love that?
You might have to log off and come back in real quick.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do now and it's not letting.
It's like frozen. It's like, no, I know. I got on here. I have a green screen behind me for when I work in things, and I was like, I feel like being in Hawaii. That sounds nice. That'll make me
There's
happy.
Lisa.
There you
Okay,
are.
no.
There you are, Lisa. Yeah, no, I'm not really in Hawaii. I wish I was in Hawaii, but it just looked pleasant. I was like, why not? I was telling a couple of my friends how much fun I had on this on Monday. I was like, it's just so relaxing just to like loom together and learn a new stitch. And then I was teaching Cindy the new stitch
Ah,
at her house. I was like, it's such an easy stitch. It's so cool. So,
What part of Tennessee is your niece from that came to visit?
she is from Murfreesboro.
Murfreesboro? Yes.
Yeah.
Right near me.
Yeah, that's where she went to high school and everything. And
Really?
then, yeah, she, like, my sister-in-law lived there while she was in high school and she graduated from there. And then right now, I can't remember where they bought their house. It's a smaller town.
Laverne.
I don't know. I'd have to ask her again. But she brought her little 1-year-old baby boy. Oh my gosh, so cute to get to see him and play with them for a little bit. That was so fun. And she's just graduated with her master's degree. And she wants to just stay home with her baby, but her job that she was working before she got pregnant paid for her master's degree. And she signed a contract that she would work for them for 2 years after she graduated. And she's like, why did I sign that contract? But she can't, like, she'd have to pay like $50,000 back for her degree if she doesn't do it. So right now they're trying to figure out daycare, and she's like, I just want to stay home. It's not fair. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, that's hard. But she works with autistic children and does applied behavioral analysis therapy. And she's just a sweetheart. But I totally understand it. It's really hard to leave your babies and go to work. So we had a really nice visit. So it was super fun. Hey, Cindy, she's on.
Getting
Look
there.
at it. You figured it out. Woohoo.
And it only took me 10 minutes instead of half hour this time.
See, and I sent your link so many places.
Yeah, and I found it.
Good job. So I had a question. So I'm still working on my hat with the owl eye stitch. Could you like switch up and do the juniper stitch in the middle of an owl eye stitch and then go back, or would it look totally weird?
You could, but to me, they're not two stitches that go together.
Okay. Okay. Because so I might like
what I've done when I get tired of doing that owl eye stitch.
Yeah.
I knit it up so high, and then when I get up to the last few inches of my hat, because I'm not a big fan of owl eye. It's a pretty stitch, but I just get tired of doing it. I switch over to garter stitch and finish the top of it off with garter.
Oh, fun. It makes it a little more bumpy at the top and kind of gives it some texture.
Yeah.
That's a fun idea. I like that.
But those two stitches go together well. But there are other stitches you can do with juniper, but I don't think owl eye. Now, Debra Shaws
don't really go together.
Debra Shaws, she puts owl eye into everything, but and I guess it depends upon what you're making as to how it goes together.
Got it. Well, I did want to pull up because we learned the owl eye last time. I'm going to pull up the video of the juniper so that we can watch that. I forgot to post the link, I'm sorry, of the video. So I will post the video, this video and Monday's video in our group. After this one charges. I was really tired, and then the next day I was really sick and walking around and trying to take care of the whole movement stuff. And so I just forgot until we were here today, and I'm like, oh, I never posted that. So I'll post it for you, Teresa, so you can watch it because you wanted to. All right, let me pull up the juniper stitch. I had it. pulled up here. YouTube.
And the other thing I was going to say about Juniper, because you were asking about combining it, it's a thicker stitch than what the Ally is. When it comes up a little bit puffier, a little bit thicker.
Yes, it definitely looks like it's more puffy. Okay, so she has one that's for specifically a hat, and she also has one that's more like a scarf. Which one do you prefer to watch?
Either one.
Either one? Okay. All right, I'm gonna
We've
share
seen the
my
hat. We've seen the hat, so
I'll do the other one. Okay,
yeah.
I lost you guys. Where are, like, I hear you, but I don't see you. Okay, now I'm gonna share my screen.
Glad to know I'm not the only one doing that.
And where did it go? I just pulled it up on YouTube. Where did it go? There it is. I'm like, can everyone see the YouTube screen now?
Yep.
Yep.
Jupiter stitch. Okay. Okay.
No audio.
Oh,
and it's
okay,
kind of jerky.
All right, let me fix it. Let me fix it. All right, share.
Here.
Is that better?
So it looks different, but it works fine in the round as well.
No,
And
hear the volume.
it's a really easy stitch to do. It doesn't curl. So I didn't do much treatment here. This is just a stitch video though, so I'm not going to show you how to do the whole thing, but you know, I'll definitely tell you what I did to get to this swatch. And the other side looks like this. It actually looks fine. And I'm really liking this stitch and figuring out, wow, I'm going to do a bunch of projects with it because it's so easy to do. And it has such nice texture. Very soft to the touch and cushy. And the loom I'm using is a Cindwood loom. And it's a 5/8 inch loom. It has 36 pegs. Now this stitch can be done on even or odd, that doesn't matter. So, you know, whatever you'd like to use there. The yarn I'm using is I Love This Chunky yarn. This is it right here. And it, of course, it's chunky. And the color is Saturn's Rings. So there it is. It's got a really nice kind of a taupey kind of brown color and cream and white and orange and blue and a little bit of a really dark teal color. It's really quite a pretty yarn. Okay, so that's the yarn I'm using.
Okay.
And then the loom hook I'm using is one that is discontinued. It's a wood loom hook that's been painted, but they do have similar ones on Etsy. I don't think they have any painted wood, but they definitely have similar shapes and kind of an acrylic body. And you can get one very similar. They're just nice, ergonomically comfortable for your fingers, but any loom hook you like is fine, of course. Okay, so let's get going here. I think I did 10 pegs just to give a kind of, well, it does have 10 pegs. That's one thing I wanted to show you, is that it knits up pretty big, because on 10 pegs it almost comes to all the pegs down here. So it's it knits to a nice size. Okay. Actually, I did a chain cast on, so that's what that looks like. And it didn't need any real edge treatment at all. I knit it right to the edge, so all I did was I did a E-wrap slip, just because it would be a little bigger, since it's a little bigger stitch, and it seem to work really, really well to keep this nice and square. So that's what that looks like. So I'll just show you what I did. Okay, so I've already knit the first peg. So I'm going to start here. And all you do, okay, the stitch is done on one peg. All you do is you go around like you're doing a U-wrap, then you go around like you're doing a U-wrap again, right? So you're going to do a U-wrap, then another U-wrap, and then you're going to take both bottom loops over the top. And you want to keep this nice and loose because it can get really tight, and that's all there is to it. And then you go around 2 times on the next one. Take the bottom over the top. Now if you were going to take the bottom over the 2 top, you'd just get a thicker knit stitch. But when you do this, because this is the working yarn here, this is what's creating the pattern. Okay? So you just go around twice, then you take the bottom 2 over the top. Now it's really easy to control your tension to be loose, because once you've wrapped this yarn is your control right here, right? It's the working yarn coming around. So if you need it to be loose, you just keep your fingers loose and you can pull it looser. Just want to make sure you get over the top. Okay? And
So it's a backwards U-wrap.
Yeah, you're like going
bottom
in
up.
front
Now
twice.
it's important to go around in a U-wrap motion, because if you do an E-wrap motion, you get a really, really loose version of the stitch.
Oh, it's around.
And this is already pretty lacy.
Interesting.
Okay,
Is
so
this a scarf she's making?
this gives
She
you,
was
and
just
then
making
too,
a
I'm not
swatch.
sure that it will be as stable. It might have some curve. Either way, we're going to come around.
So I think she's just making a swatch in this of like, so
Right.
you're just showing us the stitch. But I think the most important part is, like Cindy said, we're going in front, creating that U-knit stitch twice, and then
Right.
picking over those bottom 2. Who's made a project with this before? I think that Lisa has. Nisi, have you ever made, Denise, have you ever made one?
No, I've started things with it, but it doesn't work for my military
It's too
patterns.
because it's just
Yeah.
too loose. It's
Totally.
kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be one that I don't know that I would use for a baby blanket, because I think they could put their fingers through and get
Yeah,
scarred. It's
toes.
just not quite tight enough. But it looks nice and like soft and fuzzy, maybe for like a couch Afghan or something.
Yeah.
Or a lap blanket
Or a
around your
lap
knee?
blanket on your knees, like maybe for a care center. I'm curious how it would work up with the Bernay blanket yarn
Yeah.
compared with her, because she had more of like a homespun type yarn. Lisa,
Yeah.
what kind of yarn did you use on it?
She's gone.
I don't remember. It was probably worsted, and it
Okay.
may have been some I love this yarn, or it may have been like I posted on Nisi's thing earlier. I don't like the big twist for just doing a regular cap on the loom, but their carousel version of big twist works up real nice, and so I think I may have used some of the carousel.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a thicker yarn and it works up better. So I think I may have used it.
That's cool. That sounds pretty fun. Yeah, because it definitely looks like a thicker end product. Like you'd
But I
want to.
normally don't buy the bulky yarns.
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually come to really like the worsted weight on the 7/16. I think that's like my favorite of all of the things I make. I think that's my favorite now.
The 7/16 for most things, and at most half inch.
With the worsted weight, or do you use do you use a chunkier yarn on the worsted?
I mean
on the half inch. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
I have, but usually worsted weight's what I have on hand. So it depends upon the pattern and the stitch as to whether or not I use the half inch.
Got it.
But yeah, when y'all came out with that 7/16, oh, that looked good. But I wasn't gonna get involved in buying a bunch of new sizes. So I gave in and I tried. I think a small. I don't know if it was the newborn hat loom or what. I thought, well, that'd be a good size for making straight scarves on. Well, now I can't tell you how many 7/16 looms I have.
You have Janae Yagi to thank because she kept pushing for 7/16. She's like, no, it's the best gauge. It is the most perfect gauge. Like, you guys have to make it. And Cindy and I were both like, how is it that much difference between a 1/2 inch and 3/8? And she's like, it's the perfect gauge. And finally we're like, okay, let's do it. And she's so right. Like, it is literally the perfect gauge for worsted weight yarn. Because the 3/8 I don't love because it feels like it takes forever because there's so many pegs.
And I didn't like those small 3/8 pegs either.
And it gets bound up more, at least for me. I feel like it gets bound up more. And I'm a big peg girl myself. I like the bigger pegs. I can use the smaller pegs, but I prefer the bigger pegs.
I can do it, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
I refuse to do it. And I make them.
And you make them.
And I love them.
It's so funny
the
how you love the small pegs, Denise?
Yes, I do. Yeah, these I've done. All of these are all on the small. All of these I've done on the small pegs.
Oh,
I love them. I just think it looks so. I mean, look at this. You cannot look at this and tell that it wasn't done on a needle.
That's true. That's true.
And that's what I like about it because I have a lot of. Look at this. You can't tell that wasn't done on a needle.
That's true.
Oh, look how pretty that is. That is
And
beautiful.
I have so many people that don't consider loom knitting as knitting.
Yeah.
And so I'm often, very frequently, I will make like these two. I did one on the loom and one on the needles. That and that. And all I did was reverse the colors in the two. And then I take them and I say, tell me which one I did on the needle and which one I did on the loom. And they can never figure it out.
That's awesome.
I have a friend that has knitted. She's in her 80s and she's knitted since she was like 6 or 7 years old. She put herself through college knitting dice that you hang from mirrors and Argyle socks.
oh my
Because
God.
they were in style at that time. And she put herself through college doing that. And she's one of them that I'll take stuff to and I'll say, Ilo, look at this and tell me which one, when other people are saying loom knitting is not knitting. It doesn't even look like it. And a lot of the charities will say, we don't accept loom knitted hats. And I'll take them a whole bag of these and they go on about the hats that I bring being the best hats they receive. And then I just have to say, but it's loom knitted and your rules say no loom knitting. But, people just think about the E-wrap hats, just and the fold up brims, and the fold up brims don't fit a lot of people. And so then when they try to put them on, the string pops and the thing unravels. So it's no good. But I just enjoy proving that you can use the looms to do needle look knitting.
For sure. I think that's so cool. And I think the finer gauges do provide that even more so. I know that Janae Yagi and Amanda Pratt both say it, as we got to the finer gauges, they said the finer gauges you go, the closer you're going to get to that knitted look.
Yeah. But I do love the 7/16 because, and I like the 3/8 larger pegs sometimes too, because like you say, it does seem like you go faster.
They do feel a little faster for it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm stuck on the owl eye. I'm switching around because I'm a day behind you guys. So I just finished my row and I'm going back, reversing direction. So do I rewrap my?
Because she's not making a hat, she's making a blanket.
I'm making a baby blanket.
So you're
So
gonna
you-
you're gonna slip stitch that first peg. So you're gonna go behind and not, cause did you already pick over that peg going forward?
Yeah, because it was my last one.
Yeah. So now
coming-
going back, you're just gonna not do it and you're gonna go and
Like
just
that?
and go in front and do in front of the next two pegs. Yeah, that would be right.
First peg in front of the first peg at the beginning of the row, just
Does it-
one peg and then two pegs.
Doesn't she want to slip stitch that and not do it? Or does she want,
Skip the first peg,
yeah.
but if you're doing the flat, your first stitch, you only knit over the one, and then you go back and knit 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So skip,
so when I
skip
take
the
it
white,
around
skip,
there-
no, skip the white one, the first pink one, go to the first pink one and just knit over one.
That one?
With the unit
Uh-huh.
and knit over, because that's going to be your first peg over.
And then you'll start the pattern up.
And then you'll wrap 2, and then you'll be knitting over 2, then 1, and then 2.
And then I want to go over. Arr!
Rawr. Rawr. It's people are surprised that Cindy and I are not better at loom knitting, but we spend more time making looms than
I
knitting.
spent 5 hours today cutting, routering, and sanding looms and boxing. And so the only reason I'm doing a project is because I'm doing a project for this.
Good job.
For
And you
my
have a
grandbaby.
grandbaby coming, so that's
I
a
have
good
2
reason.
grandbabies coming, so that's why I'm trying to. Okay, so I don't know if I. Okay.
Okay, so now you picked over the first one, right?
Right.
Turn it, go further. I can't see it in the camera.
I can't get it in the
There
camera.
it is. There it is. Okay, so now you're gonna take that yarn and go in front of the first pink peg. Nope. Go back. Go
I
back.
did.
Yeah, I good. No, nope. Behind, between and behind and around. Nope.
Other way.
Other way,
Keep
other
it
way.
there. Back up to where you had it.
Okay, you gotta go. You're gonna go between the white peg and the first pink peg. Because you already picked it over once, but now you have to do it as part of the double.
Double, yeah. On the white one.
I'm using the white one this time.
The white one, you're skipping the white one and you're doing the one next to it, but you're going between the two.
So like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Ta-da! And now you're going to pick over both of those, because then you're getting the second loop on that first pink peg and the
Got
first
it.
loop
I
on the
think I
second
get
pink
it.
peg.
Okay, I think I
And then-
understand your.
What starts off as 1 and 2, when you do it, then your number 2 peg becomes your 1 peg again.
Yeah.
And
But when you're working flat, always remember your first peg, you got to do it once before you do 1 and 2.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because when you're doing the hat, you keep going in circles, so you already done it.
Yeah.
That's why it's faster going on a hat, because you continually go and you're not changing directions.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to change directions, then all of a sudden my brain's like, wait a minute, this wasn't what you were doing the whole last row.
Yes. There's a little of a figure it out.
In my
Under it.
case, there's a lot of whoop.
That's all good. Cindy was
That's
good.
why until Christy came on board, I thought you could only E-wrap. It took me 3 times visiting a lady who'd learned how to purl to teach me how to purl. I couldn't leave and go home and redo it. And I finally got the hang of it, and I went, I've been making these looms for 5 years and I didn't know you could do it.
Yeah, I
And then along
tried
comes-
to teach you cabling once, and you made a pair of mittens, didn't you?
Yes, I made 1. No,
job.
it wasn't mittens.
Fingerless gloves.
Oh yeah, I did make 1 set of those. I'm one of those people who, if someone's sitting by me, I don't get too irritated doing something new. If I'm trying to do it myself, I get very irritated trying to do it
I would like
when
to
it's
see.
new. Once I get the hang of it, I'm okay to keep going. But if I haven't done it, or I haven't had it out for a while, then the headache it causes almost is not worth.
Yeah.
Because I literally get a headache in the side of my head.
Yet she can design all the looms you guys buy, which is amazing. with
And
a
if
with
I
a
can't, my sister,
with
my
a
daughter.
CNC machine. Like I look at it and it's like Greek. I'm like, I have no idea how you even programmed. I've tried. I'm like, nope. It's a good thing this company uses both of us.
Yeah, because it wouldn't work with the only one of us. If I was in charge of the computer and doing the Zoom in class, there'd be nothing to us, guys.
I would like to see some tutorial or some help on cabling
Oh,
because I cannot get the cables on the loom to where I like them.
okay. What is the problem? Like, are you doing like a left cross or a right cross or what's
I've done both, but I've never been happy with any of them that I've done. I love them on the needles, but on the looms, it seems like you have to stretch them too much and then your cable is kind of holy.
Do
And
you ever do a double? Like, so the row that I'm going to do my cable on, I'll do a double E-wrap on so that when I do the cross, I have more space. Have you ever done that?
I have, but does yours not look stretched out when you do that? Like the cable doesn't look stretched out when you do that?
Well, I don't needle knit. So those are the only types of cables I've ever made. And I was just darn proud of myself that I made a cable.
But you you showed a cable hat one day, and then when you showed it, I thought, now that looks good, but maybe
Well,
I ripped mine out too soon.
I can show how I do it. So yeah, because I'd be happy to do. I actually love to make cable hats and cable gloves. Those are one of my favorite things to do. But I don't know a comparison to knitted because I've never done knitted cables. But I do know that doing the double E-wrap makes it so much easier to pull them over so they don't stretch so much.
Yeah.
And I also have found that making sure I always because the one time when I was first doing them, I would forget if I'm doing left over right or right over left. And so then they would look weird. So making sure you know, like
which way you're going.
And so that they have that really nice cross.
Yeah.
That's nice and fluffy. But yeah, I don't know. Have you looked at Scarlet Royale's like patterns when you see hers? Do they look like good to you? Because she's the one who does the most cables, I think, is Scarlet. She does like 4 cross cables and 6 cross cables.
I haven't lately.
Okay. Because I don't know if you would look at her pictures and be like, those don't look as good as needle knit, or if you'd look at them and go, those are amazing cables. Because
yeah.
But yeah, we could play with it. That would be fun. I've actually been having so much fun with this. I'm like, maybe we could do a loom along, like add a loom along to our thing, like, maybe every other month and do, because this is just fun.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah.
I have a question. I bought this hat, so it was probably made on a machine, but it looks like that's a cable, and then that's
garter in there.
And this is just knit and purl.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that in between is garter, do you think?
Looks like
I so want to try and make this.
That looks more like a seed stitch. And that looks like one of the, is it a double? That almost looks like a double.
Because it has 6 rows.
Yeah. So
or at least 6 of these.
Yeah, that's almost looks like because look at that. Those crosses are like double crosses.
So they're more like a chevron or a.
Yeah, like a chevron.
Like a chevron cross. Because they're doing two crosses at the same time almost.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought it was, I bought it because I wanted to bring it home and figure it out. But the other thing I loved is they filled it with fur on the inside.
Oh.
And I was like, that is a warm hat.
That is really pretty.
It
yeah,
is
I think you're right that that's a seed stitch in between. It looks more like a seed stitch.
Okay. I didn't know, so that's why I thought I'd ask the experts. I tell people I make great looms. I am not a great loomer. I'm getting better, but
that's why we have so many amazing designers.
Yep.
Yes.
Because we said we make looms. You guys make
the
stuff
day
on
Sarah
our looms.
started making lace was the day I thought my jaw was gonna fall off.
Yeah, all of the really fun lace stuff is really cool. That was my first time ever doing the moving of the stitches was when I started doing the Zoom in Lumen classes that Farah Kamal was teaching. And that was mind boggling for me. I was like, wow, that's so cool.
So my second stitch seems to be really tight doing this.
All right,
The first one,
just keep when you lay it across, don't pull it behind. Keep the stitch.
no, it's the underneath stitch that's having a hard time lifting up and over.
Pull it out a little bit before you pick over that first one.
I am. It's not pulling forward.
Yeah, but if you start being looser now, it'll catch up on the next round or two.
All right. It's one of those
got-
two. I got
You
a
can't
little too
loosen
tight.
it up really once it's tight, but you can
Yeah,
get
you
it,
gotta make it
The other
better
one's
for
better.
the next
Well, it's
row.
like the first of the two pulls it right over super easy, but the second one doesn't. So I seem to be changing my tension.
I
between the
can
two.
see that too, Cindy, because the first one, I feel like the more you, at least for me, the more I pull out the first one, the tighter it makes the second one. So if I pull out the first one just enough to pull over, the second one doesn't seem quite as tight.
Okay.
What other things would you guys want to do? I was thinking it would be fun maybe to do talk to Laurie Shue and have her come on and talk about her blanket, and then do a loom along with one of her blanket patterns.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And get on, like, I would probably do like once a week with something like that, because like 3 days in 1 week might be hard on a blanket for like, and that way we could get like further along a little bit, because she has some that have some cool designs in them or patterns, like you do like this much with this pattern, and then there's another stitch section, and she doesn't have any videos, unfortunately, and I am a visual learner.
So am I.
But I have heard they're pretty easy to understand. Her patterns seem very clear.
Maybe if she just showed her hands and didn't have to show her face.
She's actually been making more videos lately. She's made a few stitch videos lately, so she's getting braver.
The one that she did on eyelets and what was that? I can't remember the other stitch. Those were both really good.
Yeah, she's definitely like a few. When she first started making blankets, I invited her on the Happy Looming podcast, and she was like, "No, I do not talk to people. I am not going on that." I was like, "Okay." But now she seems to be a little braver when she talks to people.
Okay.
So I'll invite her to come on and see what she says. That would be fun.
She posted in our group today to the hat that he's finished.
Oh, cool. Debbie, what are you working on? She's here, but I'm wondering what she's working on. Maybe she's at work or has people around. She can't unmute. Teresa, did you decide you wanted to try and do that juniper stitch? If you did, what would you use it for?
I haven't got a clue.
I don't know how to show this.
There's Debbie. Hi, Debbie.
Hey, Cindy and Christy.
So good to see you.
You guys too. I actually am working on one of Lori Shue's patterns, but a stitch of one of her blankets, and I'm actually doing a scarf with it.
Oh, how cool.
And I used it to make a shawl, but I used that for the body, and then I used I did a ruffle edge on the shawl, and it came up really pretty.
Oh, that's brilliant. You're like adapting it. I love that.
Yeah, I love the stitch.
So which stitch is it that she was doing?
I think it's a mock honeycomb, she called it. It's like a 6-row stitch pattern.
Awesome. What's your guys' favorite way to keep track of what row you're on? Do you like use a highlighter? Do you use a what about like a ruler? Like when you're following a pattern, I'm always curious about this because I get lost in patterns. I'm like, where was I? When did I? Or if I put my loom down and I go back, I'm like, where was I? I don't remember. What are the tricks?
Sometimes I'll do an app on a phone. I don't know, other times I've something else. This you can tell. I can tell now from the way the stitch is because you do different stitches. Each row is different.
Oh, nice. Okay. You can kind of look at the inside and be like, oh, that's where the change
I can feel
is.
it. Yeah,
You
yeah, I
can
can feel it. So
you can
yeah,
feel where the change is.
yeah,
That's kind of nice.
yeah.
Very good.
Well done.
I have one of those little row counters that you can wear on your finger.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
And
it's a
then
counter.
I think it was an app that came from Ravelry. You can enter your projects in it, but it has a row counter on it, and you can use it, and you can either save it or you can delete the project once you're done. But I think that came from Ravelry.
oh, that sounds really nice. That sounds really
It's
helpful.
on my phone, so I can lay my phone on one side of me to use for the row counter. And sometimes if I'm working from a pattern that I haven't printed off, I'll have my tablet here on the other side so I can go back and forth.
Oh, I love that idea. All right, so I gotta
I'm
ask.
old school. I have
Paper.
pencil and paper on the arm of my chair at all times and do hash marks.
Oh, hash marks work, right? It's like 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Whatever works, I say. So I did want to ask, how would you guys feel if we added a Loom along maybe every other month to the gold membership? It just gets added in. But then if other people say they didn't want to join the whole gold membership, but they just wanted to come to the Loom along, if we had them pay $5 to come to a Loom along, how would you guys feel about that? Because I want to make sure you guys feel like you're getting your membership. But then I was like, there might be people who are like, oh, I'd really like to get on with the Loom along, but I'm not going to do the whole thing. They don't get the coupon. They don't get the Zoomin' and Lumen party. How would you guys feel about that?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be
Because they may
okay.
not be able to afford the monthly.
That's
I'm
what
okay too.
that's what I was wondering. And I'm always trying to think outside of the box.
Yeah.
I do feel like when there's a small fee, it gets people when they actually show up because they paid something. So they're more likely, they're more invested. There's more of a like, oh, I really want to do this. And so I do like to have something that it's like skin in the game a little bit. And
it might be somebody that's just kind of leery about joining a Zoom group.
Yeah.
And if they would do the Loom along, they might say, "Oh, I want to go ahead and join the gold group."
Yeah. That was
might be good for your business because we want your business to do good because we want our
because we want to keep looming, right? We want to keep looming. Well, and one of the reasons to make this group was it's like we don't necessarily we don't want to keep raising the prices of the looms, but inflation is a real thing.
Yeah.
And so trying to come up with other ways of helping support the pricing, and because unfortunately materials do keep going up in price.
Yeah.
Like my boards used to cost $44 a sheet and now they're 80.
Wow,
I believe it. I believe it.
And it just
and yet we really try as hard as we can to not keep raising prices. Because I mean, eggs used to be like 99 cents a dozen. Now it's like $7 for a dozen. Maybe not that much, but they're expensive. All I can say.
Oh yeah.
So
a lot of people are buying chickens instead.
Yeah.
How big is the sheet of lumber you start off with?
It's an MDF 3/4 inch thickness. It's just the company we used to use gave us like super good quality. There's not a lot of regulation on the medium density board, but this company, that the cabinet shop I used to cut most of my looms with, they were able to get it. And I mean, you could cut it and router it, and I didn't even have to sand it. It cut out so smooth.
Wow.
And then they sold out to Weyerhaeuser, which is a bigger lumber
Mhm.
company. And the stuff we started getting, we have to sand every single loom we cut
every
now.
single loom. Yeah.
But how big a sheet is it? Like
It's 4 feet by 8 foot.
okay.
Ugh.
I was just curious. I used to buy all the lumber for Dad's business. We had he had an outdoor furniture business,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and then I also worked at a lumber store here in Texas, but that was before the stuff that you use really came to the market, and
Yeah.
I didn't know how big a piece of lumber you could get in it.
The cabinet shop, they have a,
them.
yeah, the cabinet shop has a great big, huge 10-foot router, computerized router. So they buy 5 by 10 foot sheets. I buy the 4 by 8, and then they cut them down to me. My machine cuts 2 by 4 foot, and I can pick those up and maneuver them. I can't, maneuver the big ones. So,
Yeah.
which is why we only have 22-inch round Afghan looms, because it hits corner to corner and corner on the board. So,
Wow.
Cindy, back when it was decor accents, I think
we were never decor accents.
but did they not use real wood?
They have real wood on a couple of their looms, and then and a lot of their stuff was plywood, a layered wood, and stuff. And we went with the MDF, which is the sawdust glued together, so it doesn't have the chunks in it. And so
The ones I have are real wood, and I just wondered, it seems like that would be awfully expensive.
It costs about 2 to 3 times as much, and because of it can.
Well, you have to verathane them too. Also, you have to seal them.
You have to stain them and seal them.
Yeah.
And if you get solid wood, because of the way the grain is, sometimes they would break easier, because if we dropped them, they'd split on the grain. So there just is a lot more work. I've made a few over the years for people, because they can't do the glue. The glue bothers them, but the glues that they put to they used to use a glue that had formaldehyde in it, but about 3 years ago they finally went away from that. So that's a little bit better. So but they use that glue. Some people have thought that we were the same as Decor Accents, and they were actually one of our more competitors instead.
They were never as good as you guys. I think it's because they were guys.
No, well, Isela did the patterns. Her husband cut the looms.
So we have to give him a little of the credit then, huh?
I don't know.
But there was another company that had the cotter that had the nails. Who was the guy with the nails, Cindy?
Yeah.
Is that the Kiss looms?
No, there was one that you told me about.
Well,
Cindy.
no, the original guy, he did it with axle pegs, with wooden axle pegs.
Oh, wooden axle pegs, okay.
And that was Mr. Budges. He was out of Washington, and he started making looms during World War II for a blind school in his town up in Washington, so that they could make hats and sell them to earn money for the blind school. And that's where I got one of my first ones was him. And I even talked to him one time before he passed away. He was in his 80s. He was an amazing man.
What a great thing to do.
Yeah. That's why people go, well, how come you didn't patent your stuff? I said, well, people used to do these with nails and spools and stuff in grade school. My husband did and stuff. Yeah. It's not, if you find a new actual design, you can try and do it, but
But really, all patents is a whole bunch of money to make it so that you can spend a whole bunch more money to sue somebody, and it just makes the world a worse place. Though it was irritating right after we came out with the X Loom that cute Scarlet Royale had come out with, some person in Brazil copied it, like, and started selling it. And we were like, seriously? Like, really? But then
we hadn't come out of the pre-orders.
Yeah, we hadn't
And
even
they
come out the pre-orders yet.
copied one.
But at the same time, it's just so much work. And trying to, the cease and desist because you're using our thing. I've had friends in lawsuits over patents, and I'm just like, My husband's brother is a patent lawyer, and he's always like, unless you want to be in a 10-year lawsuit that you probably won't win, don't patent anything.
Yeah. So that X, I got that X. What can we make with that X?
With the X Looms?
Yeah.
You can make anything with the X Loom.
Oh.
You turn it sideways
You
and hold
can-
it up and hope the vampires disappear.
Yeah.
So if you use all of the pegs, it's just the same as a round loom, and you can make a big blanket. If you use the wedges, then you can make like the reason Scarlett designed them was so that you can make clothing, because you can like make a turtleneck top. You can make it so small, you've got the turtleneck top, and then bring it out to make a full cape as wide as you want. You can also make sweaters, because you can actually go wider and then thinner again if you wanted to be able to do the arm, right? Because we have a wider upper arm and then a smaller wrist.
Okay.
And the same thing with making like socks or leggings, if you wanted to make pants or whatever.
Okay.
So she purposely made those to take loom knitting from just making hats and scarves and flat objects and round objects into actually making clothing.
Oh, okay.
Like sweaters and stuff.
Okay, because mine's
some
hanging up, and I thought, I need a like, what can I do with it? And it's hanging up, and I thought, okay, I need to know.
Yeah, so some people actually prefer it for making really large blankets because of they like to like be able to just turn around. They just use all the pegs.
Turn around, yeah. Okay.
Other people will use the wedges in order to. Just a second, my daughter has a question. I have no idea.
She has no idea.
I don't know how I would find out. They're not there. There's no one there.
Oh, it's locked. Okay. Yeah. Probably just come home. You can chill here. Watch Spider-Man 2.
They took my daughter to her class and the doors are locked. So he's like, is there, my husband was taking her. He's like, am I at the wrong place? Is there?
Oh.
At least he didn't just drop her off and leave.
Yeah.
Yes, that is good.
Teresa, have you used your X Loom at all?
Nope.
Which
That's why I'm
size do you
asking
have,
you
the
guys.
big one or the little one?
I think it's not the little one, the big one.
The big one, or the like is it like the huge Afghan one, like the extra large one, or is it like more like a hat size one?
All
We
I
have
know
a
is
We have a small,
like a
large,
X.
and extra large.
We have a lot of X's. We have X's that are like, and we have like
I think it's the small one. Yeah.
the small one. So the small one works really well for doing, the reason people like the small X Loom is for when they're doing the hats, they can use the wedges to do a decrease so that the crown becomes really smooth and small. And Scarlett has some really nice videos on that. Both Janae Yagi and Scarlett really prefer the X Loom for your decreasing. Now, I think you can do the decrease just like we do on the round one, where you just do the, and again it kind of like suctions in the double thing that I think I learned that from Luma Hat from Denise Canella. But it makes a really nice top if you don't want that double thing.
You can also you can also decrease it to a nice smooth finish on the adjustable hat looms.
Yeah,
Oh,
like on the universals.
Yeah.
Mhm.
okay. It's sitting there and I thought, what stitch can I use?
You're like, but it's pretty on my wall. That's how I feel about the heart looms. I'm like, it's so pretty. Look at the pretty heart on my wall. It's so cute. But I did make a hat on it, and it was fun to make a hat on a heart loom. And then I hung it back up.
Should I show my clock loom that I made a long time ago?
You should show them your clock
Yeah.
loom.
Oh,
I'll go grab it.
She's actually for years she's been like, we should sell this, and I'm like, nope, because there's too many pieces, and I don't want to deal with figuring out how to get all the pieces.
Oh.
She's like, people might want to make a clock. I'm like, they might. It's complicated.
Yes.
I can't wait to see. How long have you had that X loom just hanging on your wall, Teresa?
2 years.
Wow. I'm not surprised.
That's
Everyone
so
doesn't
funny.
use that. And
Oh, so that's called an impulse buy, I think. Like, that looks neat. I should have that. What am I going to do with that? Okay, so I kind of do that with microphones because I'm a singer. And I own so many microphones. Like I have this microphone that's on my here. I have this microphone is the one set. I have this microphone. I have so many microphones. And my husband's like, why do you have so many microphones? I'm like, I sound different in the different microphones. And he's like, not really. I'm like, no, I do. I sound different.
Every hobby is actually 2 hobbies. It's actually doing a hobby and collecting for the hobby.
So
All
this
right.
is my.
Oh,
Oh,
that
So
cute.
it's a,
nice.
so it's a loom, but then I made it kind of like a steering wheel or a tire.
Yeah.
And then on
Oh,
this one, I
wow.
stuck these little things, little flames, and anyway, I hang that in my craft room.
oh wow.
And then if you turn it around so you can see the back, there's like this whole like contraption-y thing that makes it
Yeah,
work.
you have to carve it out.
Clock making.
That was the
That is
reason why I said it was too hard, because you have to carve out the wood in order to get that thing to stay.
That is
We
Wow.
all want one.
Huh?
We all want one now.
That is a handy little gift.
Exactly.
Well, I just thought it was so cool because, I mean, I did have to use a chisel and cut out the back and then, put a hole through the center. But it was it's just fun to
Yeah.
have on my wall.
I like it.
It's super creative, Cindy. I'm just always trying to not give you more work, and you took a long time to chisel that out. It wasn't like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I could probably do it a little easier with my Dremel or something, but I made that like at least 10 years ago.
So cute.
And it's the
That's
first
big.
you've seen it, which means we haven't done anything with it.
Or if you have a router, probably route a hole in the back of it.
Yeah, my router, the ones I use are set up just for the looms, and so I don't have another separate router
Oh,
that I could play with on that. But I could probably get somebody who does have one. So
that'd be a good seller for you.
yeah, maybe, I don't know. The
There
thing
you
is,
go,
I
you're gonna
would
cut your
basically
now
have
you
to sell. I'd sell the base and then sell it with the pegs that you wanted, because I have the pegs. I don't know if you can tell, on every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That I put the red one in.
Yeah.
But you
You'd
could do
have to sell it with the back chiseled out, because hardly anyone's going to have access to somebody to do that for them. And then they're just
No,
going to
but-
end up having
I
it
could
without
I could
people
do
back.
that part, but it was debating on whether to buy the clockwork.
The clockwork is easy to buy.
Yeah.
But because most people can get that, but you still would have to go with the right size, to be able to do it. So maybe I'll think about it for.
Couple of years.
For
I know, really.
Christmas, for the holidays. Merry
Are you making
Christmas.
another Christmas ornament this year?
Yeah,
I don't know. I've done every shape. of
I
what
like
we
my
made.
ornaments.
Can you do
I
it? Can
love
you
'em.
do an ornament shape? Like a ball, like a flat ball with the little piece
Yeah.
on the top? Do we have one of those?
No, we have all the shapes.
Like a circle and a different thing. I don't know if we can, could you make a,
What about a sock loom, a small one?
You have an oval? I can't remember.
we do, we have
Yeah.
an oval,
Yeah,
we have a heart,
oval.
we have a rectangle, we have,
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 8 different, or are we at 9?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Oh,
9.
she thinks yours out.
9. I was like,
Mhm.
isn't
Wow.
your tree like in your room? Can't you count? Good job, Teresa. We should round it out at 10 then at least. There has to be another shape we can think of.
Yep, that's
That's
my
my
oval.
ornaments.
That's
So cute. Actually, I love the oval one. That was one of my favorites. We
I
haven't
like 'em
done a
all.
star. We should do well, the X
Yeah,
is
star.
kind of a star.
Yeah.
Gotta have a star.
Did we do a 5-pointed star?
maybe. We can do the outside easy enough. It's harder to cut the inside.
Yeah. Yeah, because I like my ornaments.
I do too. My tree down in my craft room stays up year round with all the ornaments on it.
I love them.
They're fun. I
So
think
no,
though
I
if
haven't
we
decided what one.
I
to do
think
this
though
year.
if you did one more, if we made it to 10, then we could repeat with the New Year's. And maybe do like a new color. Like get one of the die
Custom
packs,
designs.
a custom color, and change them like for a new color. So even if someone already had that loom, it would now be in a different color and with a different year.
I don't know.
You
Maybe
said
we
you
got an
didn't want to
S?
make me do more work.
I know, really.
No, the ornaments, I love them, but they are a nemesis trying to get them all
The
painted
Mod
and
Podge
I have
and
to
the
Mod Podge.
glitter.
and I have to put the letters on, the numbers on, and then they stick to my fingers and they pull off. I mutter a little bit sometimes when I'm making those.
They are made with love. Every single one is made by Cindy. Like we
Yeah.
glue the pegs, but she does all of the Modgy Podgy stuff. So you can just look at those and be like,
Wow.
Cindy made each one of these.
And I love them.
And then someone will say, I only have one. I need all 10. Okay. Because I don't always have all the numbers. So then I have to get a hold of the person who can cut them for me out of the
Wow.
stuff. If that's where, if you just want it and you don't want a date on it,
It's easier
that's a lot
for
easier
you.
to
Yeah.
come up with. And then everybody wants to use them actually as a loom. So
No,
Yeah.
no.
I have people who have made stuff on every single one of them, including that little hot pad.
It's so funny. They all
We
make
put
all the
rubber
stuff for
bands.
Barbies.
This doesn't seem to have rubber bands on it. It was supposed to have rubber bands on it. The square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you actually take them off, it made a little hot pad for a Barbie.
Yeah, but it was this big, and I went, I don't love it enough to make it into something. No, it's all good. It's been fun designing them. I'm just not sure where to go, and we've kind of maxed out the different shapes. So unless somebody comes up with wanting a different shape,
I just said a 5-point star. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes.
all right,
Can't
we
have
will
Christmas
see.
without the star.
Right? It can be the top of the tree.
Yeah.
All right, friends, it is 5 o'clock. This has been
Yeah, I
just
gotta go.
delightful. You are all wonderful. I will plan on seeing on Friday. On Friday, we're gonna watch a video on how to make the owl eye into a 10-stitch blanket and see if we
that'd
can
be awesome.
if we can figure out look, she's doing it right there. We're gonna try and figure out those corners, and we'll have
Yeah.
Nisi there to maybe talk us through it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do, this is wool. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna do a small one and then felt it into a hot pad thing.
Oh, very cool. That is amazing. You guys, this is so fun. I love spending time with you. Have an amazing rest of the night, and we'll see you all on Friday at 4.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.